continue to be clear.
Welcome to Special Stage and to the final round of the Welsh Rally Championship. This is the Cambrian Rally. We come here, of course, with the championship already sewn up by Bob Keane. But among the battles throughout the field this weekend, the plight of his co-driver Andy Bull will be one to watch. He needs to get a strong result here to make it a team engraving session on the silverware at the end of the season. All the action right now on Special Stage. On to the first couple of stages then, and it will be the early lead for Luke Francis and John Roberts. The home round for the pair and going well at this early stage. It was Hugh Hunter's home rally as well. Andy Marchbank alongside in that new car, the Fiesta being a switch back to left-hand drive, so it would take a little getting used to. But second place for now was a great start. It was all about the co-driver championship for Bob Keane and Andy Bull. The driver's title already in the bag, of course. For now, it will be third place, and enough to secure that title if it stayed this way. Meanwhile, all Paul Davey and Roger Allen had to do was cross the start line to take the Group N title. And it's a good job that was all they needed. The pair ending this loop with fourth place overall, but retiring soon afterwards. John Rowlands and Glenn Latham make a return to the stages after being absent from the championship for a few rounds. They end the morning with first place in Class 6 and fifth on the leaderboard. It will be a good start for Craig Golder and John Kane. They lie second in Class 8 at this stage, sixth place overall in the Subaru. For Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey, it will be second in the N4 class, and with the loss of Paul Davey in the next stages, they will be due to inherit the class lead. No problems with the Class 3 lead for Dave and Freddie Brick. They have a good advantage in that position as well as lying inside the top 10 in 8th overall. It wasn't the best of starts though for Dylan Davies and Leon Williams. They end the morning a little way off the usual pace and down in 9th overall. After a couple of rounds away, Marion Evans and Jonathan Jackson returned to the championship on good form, leading the way in Class 7 and rounding out the top 10 overall at this stage. With John Rowlands as competition in Class 6 this weekend, it would have to be second in the class at this stage for John Ballinger and Mike Wilding. Happy with that position though, in 11th overall. David Lloyd Roberts and Di Jones don't show any signs of slowing down after their role on the Woodpecker stages. They end this loop with the lead in Class 5 from 12th on the leaderboard. And Arwin Lloyd Davies and Aled Edwards reached the end of Stage 2 with second in Class 3, a few places behind Dave Brick, but happy with their pace so far. And for Heffin Lloyd Davies and Sarah Keane, it will be third in the class. The pair out in the car together for the first time, and things seem to be going okay at this stage. For Tony Williams and Karen Phelps, it will be third place in Class 6. Happy with the pace, but feeling that there was something more to give in the next few stages. For John Baker and Siobhan Pugh, meanwhile, it will be second place in Class 5. John looking at a good championship result if he can finish with this result today. For David Dobson and Steve Pugh, it will be third in Class 5. A little back on the usual pace at this stage and lying in 18th overall. Sadly for Kit and Tim Lee, it will be problems with a bit of damage on the opening loop of stages. Thankfully, they do continue and lie in the lead of Class 4 for now. They may be a little off the class lead, but it will be second place in Class 7 for Stephen Ellis and Steve McPhee. Problems for James Hutchings and James Hurd mean that they have to settle for second in Class 4 at this stage, but thankfully the pair are still going. And it would be just themselves to battle with in Class 1 for Thomas Bayliss and Joseph Jones as they round out the class results. So with 2 stages complete here in North Wales, the top of the results at the Cambrian look like this. On to the next few stages now, and no change for Luke Francis and John Roberts. They continue to lead the way with a 40-second advantage now. In second place will be Hugh Hunter and Andy Marchbank. Still getting used to the car, but thankfully things were going well now. Second place overall and leading the class. And just as intended, no drama for Bob Keane and Andy Bull, keeping things steady in that hunt for Andy's co-driver championship. Third place for now and second in the class. The title looking good. Dylan Davies and Leon Williams picked the pace up a little more in these stages, moving up to fourth place overall and of course second in Class 8. Much more what we would expect from this pair. John Rowlands and Glenn Latham were enjoying the local stages, still leading the way in Class 6 and lying in fifth place overall. And Miriam Evans and Jonathan Jackson will be second of the two-wheel drive crews now, but leading the way in Class 7. A good performance for the pair at the midway point of the rally. Craig Golder and John Kane were still sitting inside the top 10, 7th place at this stage and 3rd in Class 8 for the pair. There's no change in the Class 3 battle as Dave and Freddie Brick continue to lead the way there, fighting out the Class Championship this weekend. The loss of Davey means Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey take the N4 class lead now, lying in 9th place overall at the midway point. And John Ballinger and Mike Wilding are happy sitting in 2nd place in Class 6. No chance of catching Rowlands ahead, they round out the top 10 now. And as we mentioned, no change in Class 3. That battle continues. Arwin Lloyd-Davies and Aled Edwards continue to lie 2nd in the class behind Brick, as well as 11th overall. Still no change either in the Class 5 lead, with David Lloyd-Roberts and Di Jones keeping it the right way up this time to lie in 12th overall. And for Heaven Lloyd-Davies and Sarah Keane, it will be 3rd in Class 3. Happy enough with the pace in 13th, even if the stages were now getting a little rough. Tony Williams and Karen Phelps end the morning with 3rd place in Class 6, still with a little more to give this afternoon. And for John Baker and Siobhan Pugh, it will be 2nd in Class 5 as they reach the end of Stage 4 in 16th place. Kit and Tim Lee continue after remodelling their Fiesta, ready to patch the car up in service now, but thankfully they still lead the way in Class 4. And there will be no change for Stephen Ellis and Steve McPhee. They continue to lie 2nd in Class 7 at this stage. David Dobson and Steve Pugh, meanwhile, would have hoped for a much better start to the rally. 3rd in Class 5 for now wasn't ideal, but it was at least still a result at this stage if they could keep it going. The same could be said for James Hutchings and James Hurt, 2nd in Class 4, but thankful to even still be in the rally. And of course, no change in Class 1. Thomas Bayliss and Joseph Jones continuing to hold that class position now. So reaching the midway point, it's no change at the top for Francis, but the local battle with Hugh Hunter continues into the afternoon stages. On to the second half of the day then and the final results. And it will be 22nd place for Thomas Bayliss and Joseph Jones, who claim the Class 1 victory in the event and in the championship. Co-driver Karen Tomlinson enlists Owen Thomas to guide him round to the Under-25s Co-driver Championship this weekend. And for Morgan Hanford, the result this weekend nets him the Class 3 Championship title and the Under-25 Drivers title. Sadly for Tony Williams and Karen Phelps, they end the day with 3rd in Class 6, but not before rolling the car and causing some damage that will keep them busy over the winter. John Baker and Siobhan Pugh managed 3rd in Class 5 this weekend, a result good enough for John to take the Class 5 Championship title this season. And for David Dobson and Steve Pugh, it will be 2nd in Class 5. Not the finish they would have wanted, but a finish nonetheless. Stephen Ellis and Steve McPhee end the event with 2nd place in Class 7, as well as 15th overall. Much the same as they'd been all day, in fact. And it would be damage limitation for Kit and Tim Lee. They finished with 14th on the leaderboard and the Class 4 victory, despite the car not looking its best by the finish. A last-minute change in Class 8 would see Gary Bollins and Russell Joseph jump up to 3rd in that class, helped with a quick time around the Great Orme stage to finish the day. David Lloyd-Roberts and Di Jones put the crash on the Woodpecker behind them, ending the rally with a Class 5 win, enough for 2nd in the Class 5 Championship this season. No change in the Class 3 battle as Hefin Lloyd-Davies and Sarah Keane end the event with the final step on the podium in that class, with Arwin Lloyd-Davies and Aled Edwards taking 2nd in the class and moving up to round out the top 10 overall. For Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey, it will be the lone finish in Class N4, but the pair have a good result to take 9th place overall. A good steady run for John Ballinger and Mike Wilding sees them take 8th place at the end of the rally and 2nd in Class 6 in the event, and the Class 6 championship results for that matter. For Dave and Freddie Brick, it would be the Class 3 victory. Dave missing out on the championship win by just 2 points. But for Freddie, it will be Class 3 victory this season. Marion Evans and Jonathan Jackson have a great event and a great end to their season, taking the Class 7 win today and the Class 7 championship title for the season. There's no championship result to speak of for John Rowlands and Glenn Latham, but they did come to mix things up. First in Class 6 at the end of the event, Dylan Davies and Leon Williams make a good comeback to take 4th place, taking with them the Class 8 championship victory, 2nd in the title race overall, and a £1,500 Ravenel prize fund to boot. Celebrations in 3rd place as well for Bob Keane and Andy Bull. This result, of course, means that Andy joins Bob at the top of the results this season, our 2015 Welsh Rally champions in that Subaru. For Hugh Hunter and Andy Marchbank, of course, it wasn't about the points. Back out in a new car, it was about seat time. And 2nd place this weekend would certainly have been a welcomed result if this pair had known that from the start. But taking victory here this weekend and securing themselves 3rd overall in the championship were Luke Francis and John Roberts. Without some of the bad luck this season, it could have been a different story, of course. But this result does mean they end the season on a high. So before we chat to some of the crews at the finish, here's a reminder of the final overall results of the final round of the Welsh Rally Championship.
John, you guys are always fighting above your weight in this championship, and the new car certainly is doing the business for you.
Yeah, it's done really well today, and it's like, considering we lost 20 odd seconds on the 2nd stage this morning and 35 seconds on the 7th stage when we spun and got stuck between 2 banks, lost over 50 seconds, and we're still here, like, and we just can't believe it, really, like. And then the time we've just done round the Orme, 2:38, unheard of, so it's good.
You guys are no strangers to big results on your home event, but this must go down as a pretty special one.
Oh, I'm absolutely made up. Yeah, with the entry, when I saw the entry, my heart sank, to be honest, a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, absolutely made up with the result today.
Well, perhaps coming the first event of 2016, everyone else's hearts will sink when they see you on the entry. Well done, guys. Victory at the last round.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, Andy, we spoke to you and Bob last time out at the Woodpecker, and of course, Bob sewed up the championship, but you had to do well here, and you have. Well done.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a nerve-wracking day. The fingernails are bitten down to the skin almost. It's been a reasonably good day. We've struggled because we couldn't push like we like to do. It's not been as much fun from that point of view, because always in the back of the mind is just try to make sure that we get round to the end. So, but no, we had a few little dramas, but luckily all little, all good. We did enough to get round to the finish. A reasonable finish was all I needed. So yeah, absolutely delighted to win the championship. It's fantastic.
It's the joint title, of course, for you and Bob, which makes it great. You can enjoy the awards too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Bob didn't have to do this rally, but he does like the rally. It's a great rally, and I'm pleased he did. I know a lot of it he did for me, which is
a team effort, isn't it?
Which I appreciate. Yeah. So so it was great. It was great to do it together. So that's it. The car's in one piece still, so we can look forward to because as part of winning the championship, we got a free entry onto Rally GB National, courtesy of the championship. So that's great. So we're able to take that up, focus on that in the next few weeks' time, and go out playing with all the big boys.
We'll see you there. Well done.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
Well done to our podium finishers here in the Welsh Rally Championship at the final round in Llandudno, the 60th running of the Cambrian Rally. Some iconic stages across the years that have kept the spectators and the competitors coming back. Andy Bull sews up the Co-Drivers' Championship to join his driver Bob Keane in the overall championship glory. And of course, Luke Francis takes victory on his home event, and great to see local man Hugh Hunter up here as well. With the UK round of the World Rally Championship fast approaching, forests all over Wales start to ring with the sound of rally cars, making those final changes ready for the challenge that is Wales Rally GB. And we went along to see the M Sport Ford World Rally team as Ott Tanak and Elfyn Evans put the car through its paces in typical Rally GB weather conditions.
Yeah, no, Yeah, it's been good. I think weather has been quite representative what we will get in the rally. So yeah, I hope, and everything feels okay. So feeling is good. Yeah, definitely you need to go flat out if you want to have a good result now, because everybody are doing that. So yeah, you just have to be a bit faster than everyone else, and that's it.
With a lot of the testing done in M Sport's very own facility in Cumbria, this weekend is a final chance to take the car out in conditions that represent the actual challenge ahead and mean that they can be confident going into the event and push from the start. We haven't got long to wait before we get to find out if these preparations were all worth it. But for now, you can get your rally fix on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, everything's feeling pretty good. So we've done a bit of work beforehand up in Cumbria before we came here. So we're just confirming through all the options now. But so far so good. Yeah, I'm feeling comfortable with the car now, which is good. So yeah, we look forward to the rally and making the most of the fantastic home atmosphere and doing our best.
This weekend saw the crews take to the start of the brand new Motorsport News Circuit Rally Championship at the Neil Howard Memorial Rally at Alton Park. And with a bumper entry and a wide variety of cars, the championship looked to be getting off to the best possible start. With plenty of action throughout the day, it would eventually be Steve Simpson who came out on top at the first round. But with plenty of others close behind and at times in front of the Subaru driver, it looks like there will be some close battles ahead in this exciting new championship. You can catch full coverage of this rally on our show on the 27th of November. And in the meantime, if you want to visit the championship for yourself, the next round will be at Cadwell Park on the 15th of November. The World Rally Championship may already be decided, but there is still a fight going on for second place in the Manufacturers' Championship, and Hyundai are out to try and claim that title by the end of the final round, Wales Rally GP. As always, the teams were out testing in the lead up to the event, getting the final miles in the cars, and we went along for the second of the day's testing to watch the Hyundai team put the car through its paces. With Thierry not scoring manufacturer points on the event, the pressure would be off to concentrate on a good run and seeing what result he could achieve on the final round of the season.
Yeah, we will work a bit on the differential side and as well on the dampers, of course. Obviously, especially when it's wet like this, we try to find the maximum of traction without trying to decrease the precision of the car and the handling. So it's always a kind of a compromise. We are not taking the manufacturer point this weekend, so we just try to go as fast as possible, have a lot of fun, and see where we end.
For Danny, the focus was on the championship battle. The pressure was certainly on. Second place was within reach of the Hyundai team. And after a podium in Spain, he will be looking to take that forward to the final round in Wales.
Yeah, to be honest, I enjoy a lot the road, very slippery. Difficult condition, but normally like here, no, always like this, foggy, raining, cold, but it's Rally GB. You never have a perfect setup in these conditions because it's muddy, it's difficult, but I'm quite happy with the car. We do a little bit modification after Rally Catalonia, but the setup is quite similar, a little bit softer, but I'm happy, to be honest, with the car. The most important is to try to have a good competition with Citroën, because we are fighting for the second position in the manufacturer championship. But after that, try to. I really like if I can finish in the podium. But you know, you never know. I will try to finish in the top, of course.
Last weekend saw the AWDC visit an unusually warm South Wales for the final round of the season. And there would, as always, be no shortage of drama, with one of the early favourites being caught out on the second run of the day, rolling the car. But that wouldn't see any less of a battle for the victory, with no less than 3 crews battling it out for the lead at any one time, and only a few seconds between them. It would eventually be Adrian Marfell taking victory in a final run charge. The new car out on its second event and clearly a winning package right out of the box. You can catch all the coverage from this and round 7 of the championship on Motors TV on the 4th of December. Anglesey played host to the 2-day Glyn Memorial Rally and a round of the Junior 1000 Championship, attracting a large junior entry. It will be Josh and Tommy McErlin who come out on top after the 2 days, with Zach Hughes and Chris Evans a close second. In the senior event, meanwhile, it would be the event-long lead for Chris Ford and Neil Coleman in the Impreza WRC, taking that by over a minute and a half advantage, with Will Owen and Rob Hopewell in second, and Hill Climb and Race of Champions hopeful Scott Moran taking that final step on the podium. You can catch coverage of this event on our shows soon. Keep an eye out on our social media for all the latest.
Five right flat in and 6 right continued over clear.